Right now, somewhere in the deep, dark slopes of the Tonga Trench, a shark with a face like nothing else in the ocean could be gliding silently past a camera nobody's watching. Its snout is long, flat, and paddle-shaped. Its jaw can shoot forward like a slingshot to snatch prey. And for most of modern scientific history, not a single living human being had ever seen one of these animals alive in its natural habitat. Every photo, every specimen, every scrap of data came from something already dead. So what happens when scientists finally manage to point a camera at a shark this elusive while it's still alive and swimming free? The animal is the goblin shark, and its reputation for rarity isn't exaggeration. It typically lives in deep water, often over 1,000 meters down, and the handful of specimens researchers had ever studied came almost entirely from accidental catches. Animals hauled up in fishing nets, already dead, their bodies damaged by the pressure change on the way to the surface. That gave scientists a decent understanding of goblin shark anatomy. It gave them almost nothing about how the animal actually lives, moves, or behaves in the wild. But here's where things get strange. In 2019, a research team from the University of Hawaii at Manoa, sailing near Jervis Island in the South Pacific, captured something extraordinary using an underwater drone called Hercules. Live footage of a goblin shark swimming naturally in its own deep-sea environment. Doctoral researcher Aaron Judah didn't even catch the sighting in real time. He identified the animal later, going back through recordings of the expedition's livestream footage. It marked one of the first times this species had ever been documented alive on camera in its natural habitat. That alone would have been a remarkable once-in-a-career discovery. Except there's one problem, or rather one surprise, that made the story even stranger. In 2024, a second sighting occurred, this time near the Tonga Trench, captured by a team from the Minderoo UWA Deep Sea Research Center using a baited camera mounted on a bottom lander, a weighted platform researchers used to observe the seafloor without disturbing it. This sighting happened nearly 700 meters deeper than scientists previously believed goblin sharks were known to live. Two confirmed sightings, years apart, and each one rewrote part of what researchers thought they understood about where this animal actually spends its life. Here's why researchers describe this level of rarity as scientifically significant rather than just a neat fact. Every confirmed sighting of an animal this elusive adds real data to fill in enormous gaps. Geographic range, depth tolerance, behavior patterns, information that's almost impossible to gather from a single dead specimen pulled from a net. Researchers studying the footage noted the goblin shark's famous retractable jaw, capable of shooting forward at speeds over 3 meters per second to snatch prey, something long known from anatomy studies but rarely, if ever, observed happening naturally in the wild. The goblin shark isn't alone in this category of scientific rarity either. The megamouth shark, first discovered in 1976, has had barely more than a couple hundred confirmed sightings in nearly 5 decades, and researchers at institutions like the Florida Museum of Natural History still track every single one individually because each new observation remains genuinely significant, except there's still a real limitation researchers openly acknowledge. Even with these historic sightings, nobody has managed to observe extended natural goblin shark behavior for more than a few minutes at a time. Feeding strategy in the wild, migration patterns, reproductive behavior, all of it remains almost entirely unknown, pieced together from fragments rather than sustained observation. What these breakthroughs point toward is a larger truth about deep sea exploration itself. As deep diving submersibles, remotely operated vehicles, and baited camera systems become more accessible and more widely deployed, researchers expect the pace of these rare encounters to accelerate, potentially rewriting basic assumptions about deep sea species that scientists have held onto for decades, sometimes based on nothing more than a handful of dead specimens. So here's the full picture. The rarest shark ever photographed alive wasn't rare because it's small or hidden in some tiny corner of the ocean. It's rare because it lives in one of the least accessible places on the entire planet, and it took over 40 years of deep sea technology finally catching up to actually prove what it looks like to be alive down there. The ocean isn't empty, it's simply waiting for us to discover what's still hiding below. If you enjoy exploring the unknown, there's plenty more waiting beneath the surface.